Hello, everybody. This is Jack, and let me know if you hear me well. I have on the other end a very special guest. I probably know that because you got my email. Say hi if you of yes you read it in the email. And last week, actually 2 weeks ago, we started with the preparation of this training. We so her name is Cynthia, and you all know her by now. And Cynthia has some amazing success, really amazing success. And so it is kind of personal. So Cynthia is very skilled, is really skilled, okay? But she likes my feedback on it and how I think about certain things and give her confidence. Now, with a little bit more confidence, she get and a little bit more structure in her business, she gets so much amazing success. I'm really pleased to be connected and follow the success from Cynthia. And I want you to know it as well. So Cynthia, hear me? Do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. And hopefully, everyone, I hope you can hear me as well.
I see the question. So if you hear Cynthia well, enter yes. And so we had a short Skype meeting today, Cynthia, before this meeting. So tell me a little bit what happened in the last hour.
Okay, excuse me, sorry about that. Okay, so I had, in preparing for this, Jack asked me to kind of share with everybody what my experience has been going through what all of us are going through. And I was able to share with Jack that I followed this process that I put together for everybody that we'll talk about. I followed this process and I had a meeting, not last week, but the week before, because I was on vacation last week. So the week before, I had a meeting with an alternative medicine pharmacy. And the way she was talking, I asked her all the questions and everything that I'm going to go through later with all of you guys. But I followed this process that I put together and asked her all sorts of questions and got ideas as to where she would like to show up, why she would like to show up, how does she want people finding her, and that type of thing. And then I did all my research. And so interesting thing is when I went back to her, I put together the plan, which I also will kind of give you an example of like how I put my plans together. I put together a plan for her, but before I left the meeting 2 weeks ago, she was trying to ask me if I would just do the work and not get paid and get paid later. So I wasn't too excited about this meeting. I thought it was just going to be an exercise of experience. But on a great note, she is going to move forward with me. She's going to pay $1,000 setup fee, and then she committed to 700 per month for the next 3 months. But she said if she starts seeing results, then she's going to go to my regular pricing. Which my regular pricing, I told her that's all I'm going to send her. But this is a little special thing because she was almost in tears. She really needs my help. And so I agreed to help her out a little bit. And I told her I would only invoice her less, but in her plan, she knows what the pricing is and what it's going to be. So anyways, great news is I'm able to increase my residual income now, at least 700, but it's going to be 1,500 per month minimum with her. And then we did talk about the tools that I have. She mentioned that she is using, I think it's Thrive. I'm not familiar. I'm not a big time web developer or any of that. So she's using that, but she has some e-commerce on there and she pays $299 a month for that. And she was saying why she likes it. And it's because it has like Jack's Connect Boss. And I was telling her, well, I do that for my clients, and I include the package that guys will see on the handout and on what we're going to go through. And I told her I only charge $200 a month. So now she wants to have me do that, and that's going to be down the line where we'll redo her website, and then she's going to start, instead of paying Thrive, and then she's also using Shopify instead of having to pay them. She'll be able to do it, where I can do the e-commerce through the website, as well as then also using Jack's tools. So that's going to be more that will be added on. That will add on another 200, and then she's developing another brand that she'll also work with me, and so that will bring on another 200 for the package that I have through Jack, and then as well as my services, another 1,500 there. So it's going to be a very, very good opportunity. And another thing that I didn't get a chance to share with Jack is I recently started working with a tax resolution company that I will talk a little bit about a little later in this meeting. But on a great note is they're going to be starting to do Google Ads with me. And I presented their plan, just as I'm going to show you the way I do. And interesting thing is they ended up calling me last Friday and said that they decided to add on an affiliate model to what they're doing, where they will be the back office. But what I had a call with the CEO on Monday, and what he told me on Monday now is not only are they going to do the affiliate model, but now they're putting together a whole business in a box that they're going to approach different categories or different industries that are struggling right now to offer what they do, including marketing, where they're going to build in the fee for my fee so that we all win. So they never asked me about that, but they're building it, and they're basically going to get me clients, which is shocking and very unexpected. Yeah.
So Cynthia, I don't know which client it was from you, but some of your clients say, why ask you so low or so less? And remember, I don't know which type of client it was.
Mm-hmm.
But
yes, I can tell you. So I had 2 weeks ago, because since last week I was on vacation, 2 weeks ago I had another meeting with it was a personal injury attorney, and he's from a new networking group that I recently joined. And when we were talking about things, he mentioned to me that he has worked with a marketing firm that specializes in working with attorneys. And when I was going through how I'm different and the things that I was doing, I was throwing out prices like $1,500 a month and this and that. And he actually said, it sounds great, but I worked with this, they specialize and they work with attorneys. And I did the lowest price package for $5,000 a month, and I got junk. And I'm afraid that with your prices being so low, that it's not going to work. And so my response says, don't worry, I'm going to do my research. I'm going to put together your whole plan, and then I'm going to prove to you how what I do works. So I do have that meeting with him tomorrow at 11 in the morning.
Yeah, and of course, so we spoke about it, and I think we came with a plan that we make different plans for that customer. So we know he kind of expect to pay $5,000 or at least more per month. So I think we said something like, you will get him a special temporary deal to prove your service. So you can, and by saying kind of those words, you can increase it after, I would say, the trial period.
Yes. So Jack did, he did, kind of guide me through that. Jack has mentioned that before in the trainings. And so when he did tell me that, I did say, well, I'm giving you a break because you're just, starting your own law firm, and you're part of the group. So I did say that I'm giving you a break, get started, but don't worry, we can increase as, you know, the more that you do, and then once you see what I'm doing. So I did also tell him that, but what Jack also pointed out to me is, you know, I'm going to be doing the Google Ads for him, and normally I just charge a flat amount. And so Jack gave me advice on to have that flat amount be up until a certain amount that he spends for his Google Ads, and then as he increases, well, then my fee will increase because I need to manage more. So I actually did build that into my plan.
Yeah. So I don't know if you want to share that, so I'll leave it up to you. But I think we are, you know, we are working together on those getting clients and those strategy. How much has that at this point? I think in the last 2 months or so increased your monthly revenue.
So I really honestly truly barely started networking just within the last month or two, and I haven't done very much, but with my first meeting I got two clients. Well, I got one client, and then I got another one who is the president of the Orange County National Association of Women Business Owners, who was going to be a client, but then she had some financial problems and wasn't able to. So she's been referring, she referred one client that has had such great results in less than a month that she invited me to this networking group. So through that one client that I got referred to, it has opened up a lot of opportunity just in this one networking group. And so the meeting that I had today, that she's in that networking group, and then this personal injury attorney, he's in the networking group, and then you know, my current client also, things are going great. So far, because I got to tell you, I was playing very small, and I only had 1 to 2 clients at a time. It seemed like I had one client, and then I would get another, but then they'd cancel, they wouldn't have enough money. But now things are really taking off. So I have increased my monthly revenue over 3,000, and then my current client, my main client, just increased, and I forgot to tell you this, Jack. He just increased his budget another 3,000 per month. So so now he's going to be over 7,000 a month, plus another 3,000, and that's not counting this new client that I just got today. And then we'll see what the personal injury attorney brings me tomorrow.
Which tool does your main client likes the best?
Well, I always have the Connect Boss for the tools, and the package, the website package that will be on the bottom of this handout. I always work that in no matter what, anything that I'm doing. So I do branding for them and visibility and exposure.
So he has installed the Connect Boss mobile app, correct?
Because exactly.
In the beginning, and he really,
and then for the Google Ads, I
correct,
use that very extensively, and they love it. Absolutely love it.
Because they see results. Getting
exactly.
monthly income is all about seeing results, and then they are not canceling, and if they get really a lot of results, they're going to increase the budget and payment.
Exactly. So, and that's the great thing about the Connect Boss, is because it tracks it directly to the work that I'm doing. Whereas if it just goes to his website, then they don't give you, they won't give you credit. They wouldn't give me credit. He wouldn't give me credit for it. But because everything that I'm doing, I'm using Connect Boss with the tracking number and all of that, then I get credit for it. And I should, because I'm the one who's doing all the work to get the visibility, right? So
yeah,
then
that was I think also the client who had the form for years, and had no submissions, correct? On the
Yes.
website?
Yes, he's the one who, he had the form on his website for years. And, you know, his original website, he still has a form on there, but he has the Connect Boss, and the form is never being used. The Connect Boss is being used. I call it the Instant Connect widget.
Yeah, the marketing language.
Instant Connect tool, that's what I call it when I talk to
Yeah.
regular people, because it makes sense to them that it's a way for people to instantly connect.
So Cynthia's specialty is actually, she has a great sense of empathy. So she knows exactly how the other end reacts and works and thinks, and has the skill to come up with packaging, with naming, with framing, with coming with a plan what get perceived well, and it has only simple tools. It says, you know, you can mention 3 tools, or you can describe what the tool does and get perceived much better than you only would describe the tools. And that is part of Cynthia's success. Yes, you do more. I have to agree. You do more than mention the tools and describing it. So maybe you'll go through your. I would kind of call it script. It's not a script.
My process.
Your process. Yeah. Go through your process.
Okay, so so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of refer to this. I put this all together, and Jack made it easier for everybody to read, and this will be a handout that everybody's going to be getting. So first of all, I wanted to talk about where to find people who might be interested in your marketing services. And so that's going to be, you know, like businesses you visit or businesses you do, you like where you're their client. So for example, last month we went to Napa, and we're in a shop. One our friend's husband, he wanted to look at the shop that had men's shoes, and it's a brand new shop, and this guy is designing really nice shoes for a very affordable price, but very functional and very nice looking. And so I started talking to him, and I started asking him about his marketing. So I'm going to be scheduling a meeting with him. He gave me his personal cell phone, and he said, yes, we're working on the website, and I would love to, you know, hear what you can do for me. So, you know, that's a place. Also, if you have current or previous clients. So before I was doing digital marketing, I was working in insurance, and I was working in payroll. So my first client came from insurance. I am going to be working on some other packages now. I worked with some franchise business owners, and I'm putting something together for that. And I actually went to those previous clients and I asked them, I said, hey, this is what I'm working on. I got to get it all set up, and I got to learn how to use it. But once I have it all set up, will you test it for me? And one of them said yes. And I talked to another one and said, hey, this owner's going to test it for me. And the other one's like, yes, I want it as soon as it's, you know, ready to go. So, you know, think about that. People that you've worked with before that somehow trust you, right? And then networking groups. That's where I'm getting all this activity from, is, you know, the networking groups. So there's something about people seeing you in person, because they can look you in your eyes and they can see whether or not they can tell if you're trustworthy or not, right? And when they trust you, always remember, I know that it's really scary because you can sometimes feel like maybe they know more than you, but they don't. They really, really, truly don't. And my experience even in this networking group is There's a woman who worked for Yellow Pages that now works for Thrive. It's an SaaS program, and she says it does all this stuff and does digital marketing as well. There's a woman who works on messaging in the group. There's a guy who does LinkedIn and websites. But the funny thing is I've been having meetings with them, and come to find out I know way more than they do even. So just remember that. Have, confidence. You're investing in, your time and learning all of this stuff. And if you understand the tools and understand how they work, you have things that are different. Because when I talk about this Instant Connect tool, and I talk about, making sure that your marketing dollars aren't being wasted, it really makes sense to people, and other marketers are not talking about stuff like that. And then I'm getting a lot of referrals now because, of course, when it works for your clients, they're happy. They definitely want to refer business to you. And so, think about that. Or even, the key thing is you want to prove it to yourselves almost sometimes when you're first starting. So, go to your friends and family and give them either a really, really good price or, work something out special. One of my biggest referrers, we're doing a trade, and even though we're doing a trade, I'm getting back because I saw value in what she does. And so even though we're doing a trade, she's still paying me $400 a month. So so think about that. Don't discount what you're doing. Show your regular pricing and be bold about it, be proud about it, because you're worth that much. But also be a person and be compassionate, because like what I said with that woman today, she told me, she's like, I have great intuition and I know that you're going to help me. And then she even did call one of my clients from the networking group, who has also talked about, the great results that she's had in seriously in less than a month. And so she almost cried, and I gave her a really, really good deal, and I know that I'm going to help her a lot. And I know that, she promised to refer, she's told me about all the things she's working on, and she promised to refer, more people to me, and I know she really will. So you just have to kind of have that one where you can prove it to yourself, get them however you can, be fair, and you'll see that once you prove it to yourself, it's going to give yourself a lot of confidence. And then, of course, luckily having someone like Jack who you can ask questions, and he's helped me a lot with my confidence. Now, when I prepare for the discovery meeting, basically before I meet with them, I want to have a little background on what's going on with them. So what I do is I, first of all, take a look at their website, and I judge, like, you want to look at it from the point of, if I'm going to be a potential customer for that person, what do I think of their website? So how does it look? Does it look professional? Does it look terrible? Is it speaking the right words to me if I was going to be a client? Is it talking about my pains or my problems or how they can help me? Because I find so many websites out there just almost brag about themselves, and they don't even think about the people that they serve. So that's, that's a very important part of my packages, is really talking about the messaging. Are you talking to the person you want to work with, and especially on the home page, right? Because that's the first page that they see. And then also you want to see, how does it look on mobile, right? Because, Jack has Rapify with, the websites that look great both on, desktop and then on mobile as well. They're mobile responsive and fast. And then you want to ask, look at it, is it easy for potential clients or customers to call or text them from their website? That's where the Connect Boss comes in. because I find so many websites where it isn't. Like you don't see a phone number. It's almost like they're hiding. And I wonder, I'm like, why don't you have a phone number here, on here? And what I do, for my clients, even though I use a tracking number, I will list their company phone number on there. But what I do is I make it where it's a link where people can click to call, but they're clicking to call a tracking number. And so that's how I do it, so that again, I still get, I can show them that I am getting them results because of, Google had no idea they existed and now they do. And here's what's happening. Here's what I'm bringing to them. Then I will do a Google search for the business. I'll search their company name or their business name, and I take notes like on their business's web presence. I take a look. Do they have a Google business profile? Because Jack has a Google business profile training that teaches you how to optimize and do all of that. Do they have any reviews? If they do, how many reviews? Are they good reviews? Are they bad reviews? Because your online reputation is very, very important. And that's normally, after having a strong foundation with a good website that speaks to their ideal client, that makes it easy to connect with them. Normally, that's the next thing that I always recommend is making sure they have a good reputation, or I can help them with that. Also, do they have any other social media profiles? A lot of the marketers, I got to be honest, I don't do, social posting. I have the tools to do it. I personally have not been interested in it. I'm thinking about maybe getting a VA who will use my tools to do it, but I don't do it. And I have people that I know who can do it but with what I do, for my clients, they haven't needed it because, a lot of the social media sometimes just goes out to nothing because there's so much noise out there, right? So I focus on the effects I can make for my clients on Google because people go to Google to look for businesses.
Okay, I think, I'm not sure if you do it, but I think you do. You post on Google Business Profile, correct?
Yes, I do.
So
And I
instead of, so
optimize.
normally everybody's thinking, I need to post on Facebook and Twitter and all those things, and that is true, okay? But actually, what really works is posting on Google News. That will get picked up by Google.
Right, and then I even do optimize the photos, where they're and I put the tags in there and
Correct.
everything. And I'm noticing, just doing that little bit for that client, she saw results in, 3
Correct.
weeks. She got a $6,000 client.
By optimization of Google Business Profile with the right areas, with citations in the images, by posting, you almost fix the traffic to the website. And then when you have the traffic to the website, you want to convert them by the right messaging and by the, Cynthia calls Instant Connect tool, so that they will contact the business. And when they connect with, if they use the website, the Connect Boss tool, then you track automatically amount of calls, amount of emails, amount of chats, amount of text messages. So it's kind of an automatic tracking. And once the business owners see those results, they're happy. They are willing to pay month after month. And now, once you have that, let's say the base fixed, the base in place, you can add stuff to it. Huh? You can send paid traffic or do other kind of things to send more traffic to the website.
Yes, so that's why I always have, when I do it, I give them a plan and steps. Step number 1 is having a solid foundation, and that's what it includes. That's the important part, is having a website that converts and having the Google business profile and that all connected, and the reviews, right? Having that solid that solid foundation. Because also then with the reviews, then also the trust, right? People want to be able to trust you, that you're, or trust your clients, right? Trust your clients that they're going to be doing, that their products are good, that their services are good, that they're choosing the right business to do business with.
Yeah. So
And then the last thing that I do when I'm preparing for the meeting is I kind of look at their website with my idea of what they do. Then I will do another search on Google as if I were a potential client or a customer looking for the products or services the business offers in their local city. So, for example, I met with a commercial solar company, and they want to get started in January. But when I was taking a look, I typed in commercial solar installation, right? Because I thought, okay, if somebody wants to work with a company like that, they want to get an installation of commercial solar, or for business buildings, that kind of thing. And then I used the city based on where this client wanted to be seen, and he couldn't be seen anywhere, nowhere. So that kind of gives you an idea on, how you can also help optimize their Google business profile, right? It gives you a plan to follow, so that you can direct them on the best way to get where they want to be. Hopefully that makes sense.
yeah,
Okay,
it is actually what you do is just is basic marketing, I feel, but you describe it well. I feel you do the most important things is create a website that has the right messaging and put connectables on it. Then you need some traffic to the website, and you fix their Google business profile. So then you have a certain amount of traffic what convert and they see results. That is, everybody can do that.
Mm-hmm. And so then I guess so here on the take notes, Jack, if you kind of, if you can kind of move that sheet up. So, I talked a little bit about this, does the company's website appear on the first page of Google search results? I never look past that, because who does? I mean, most of us don't, unless we're really desperate we're not finding what we want, right? Are they listed in the top 3 listings for the Google Maps? What does their competition look like on the first page of the search results? Because it kind of gives you an idea as to, managing their expectations. If they have 3 companies already in the top 3 for Google, and each of those companies have over 100 5-star reviews, and this person doesn't exist on the first page, their company, well, you got to prepare them, right? Because people always also expect things overnight, and you have to manage their expectations. So you want to know what that's going to look like. And I will, when I go to the meeting, I have a lot of these pages open so we can look at it together, and they can see why I'm putting together the plan for them that I'm putting together, where they can see, they can't just think that they're showing up. I'm like, look, where are you? You're nowhere, right?
Yeah,
I'm going to get you there.
that is pretty confronting.
Exactly. But it takes the pressure off of me telling them that, because I'm going to say, here's what I found, we can look at it together, right? And so when you're at the discovery meeting, it's going to be really important to get them talking at the meeting, right?
Yeah,
Because right away they're going to be resistant. So you really want to get them talking. It's, going to help, build rapport. It's going to help build trust. And you're going to want to ask them like open-ended questions, okay?
that is
So,
really important. I think that is. I want. I have said that before, but that is a mistake a lot of people make. That they speak too much by themselves. You want to explain too much what you're doing before you have listened what the business needs or wants.
Exactly. So I go to every.
You're not going to say a lot before. So here below is a plan. Huh? You're not going to present the plan before they really have shared their info. So you're not going to prescribe the medication before you really have listened to the patient. Does that make sense? So it's kind of, you go to the doctor and the doctor looks at you and you have a red hat or whatever, and he prescribes a medicine for you. How would you feel? Would you not like that he measure the temperature, ask you question, check all the things before he prescribes a medication? So you have to develop the skill to listen and ask open questions.
Yes, because I'm good at talking, as you can tell. So I make sure I always go to every meeting with a notepad and a pen, and I do ask permission. And sometimes I will start off by saying, hey, I could tell you so much. It's not important. What's important?
Okay, the audio dropped. That was not part of the silence.
That I like to ask.
Good.
So, Jack, could you move it a little bit more for the questions? Okay, so to get them talking, oh, and then just as a reminder, open-ended questions, I didn't understand what that meant. So open-ended questions are that you ask that are not like single word answers, where they can't just answer yes or no, or, you know, just one word answers. Open-ended questions are questions where they're going to have to talk more. And so, yes, there's going to be a place where you're going to ask the close-ended questions where it's yes, no, that type of thing. And that's later on in your conversation, right? So the way that I get them talking is, you know, I say, so, you know, tell me about your business. You know, get them talking. I start taking notes, and, you know, they'll say things that you might ask them questions about as they go along. I'll ask them, you know, how long have you been in this industry and why did you decide to start this type of business? You know, because they will, and you want to know how long have they been in it, because that could be part of the trust and part of the messaging on the website. How has your business been so far? You know, how many clients or customers do you have or have you worked with? And oftentimes I'll, you know, when I'm asking them about that and they're talking about that, I'm like, so, you know, would you say you have a lot of happy clients? You know, especially if I've seen that they don't have any reviews, because I need to know, you know, do they have people who will speak up for them, right? And then sometimes I will ask, you know, oh, you know, that's so, you know, fantastic, you know, that you have so many happy clients. Have you ever tried asking them, you know, to leave a review, or, you know, have you ever checked with them on that? You know, that's a closed-ended question, right? That's a yes or no, and then they might elaborate. But, you know, do you see, you want to first start off with the open-ended where they start talking, and then it gives you more direction on where to lead. But you want to have your idea of what kind of questions you're going to ask, because you're basically leading them to give you a plan for them on what you're going to present. And if you're giving them what they want, then how can they say no, right? Anyways, also I will ask, you know, what do you do to stand out against your competition? Because that is so very important for what makes you different compared to your competition. A lot of business owners don't even think about that, and that's really important. You know, what do they do that's special? And then I do ask them, you know, tell me about your ideal client. Like, what's the best kind of client that you can get? And that will then open up other questions like, okay, well, what types of things, what do they like to buy? You know, if they have services, which services, you know, you get to really talk about their business and, you know, what kind of services, what kind of packages. So for example, like with that, that pharmacy, that alternative medicine pharmacy that I met with, you know, she wanted to focus on working with cancer patients. And, you know, when I did all my research, there were other things that I had listed, including pain management, anxiety, and all that stuff. When I did my research and for her particular area, sometimes what the business owner wants, there's not a high demand, and there wasn't. And I found a great opportunity for her focusing on pain management. And I showed her proof, you know. So, you know, when you take good notes like this, you show them, you're able to show them what the proof in the you know, final plan presentation meeting. You can show them proof where I went to, you know, the Google keyword tool, and I, you know, I had one for her local city, one for her county, Orange County, one for LA County, and then I showed her all the different types of ways that people are looking for her services. And I said, I would put that on the back burner. Yes, you're going to get those clients, but let's focus here first, because this is going to give you the highest quantity of volume of people looking for what you have. And then, of course, you're going to have the, you know, the cancer patients looking for it as well. But this way, you're going to have better results faster. So this is all really important for you to do, to find out all this information. You know, and then I ask, you know, about what their business growth plans are for the next 12 months, because that's when they will start talking about, do they have plans? Do they have even plans for marketing? Do they maybe have a budget? You know, they start kind of talking about things like that in there. And then I will ask some questions related to their online visibility. Like, you know, I make sure I do talk about it. So the notes that you've taken to prepare for that meeting, you can ask them about. If, you know, for example, I had a meeting with a money coach who I was taking a look, and, you know, first of all, when I looked at her visibility, I found there's a financial planner, there's a book with a similar name. So I asked her, you know, about why she chose that name for her company, because trying to brand her is going to be hard where you have these well-established other brands out there. Then she had one positive review on Google, but then a 1-star review on Yelp that she didn't even know about, you know. So, you know, like being able to show them all of this, you know, when you're prepared ahead of time, right? And you can ask them about that. It also helps them to see, oh, wow, this person really knows what they're doing, and this person cared enough to look into, you know, into my business before even coming here, right? And then what's your average revenue per client or customer? I like to ask that, because if they're making $2 per sale and they have to make thousands and thousands of sales to even be able to afford your service, maybe they're not the right type of client for you. So you really do want to know that, right? And so I will ask them, you know, well, what are your bigger packages? You know, what do you ideally want to get them to? How does that price range? What's the least amount that you would get with that kind of client? Because it really gives you a very good idea of, you know, what their profit is. You know, and they generally will tell you at this point. They definitely will tell you, unless you haven't asked them enough questions, right? And then I ask them also, what type of marketing are you doing now? Because you want to have an idea. And oftentimes, if they tell me what they're doing, I'll ask, well, so what are you paying for that? Or what are you paying for this? You know? And I got to tell you, I'm so not perfect. So you know, on my follow-up meetings, I'm going to tell you like the mistakes I've made, because we all make mistakes. Okay. Now, I will ask them, if you were to start marketing or add on to your current marketing efforts, what would you hope to accomplish and in what time frame? And I want to know that, because are they going to be unrealistic? Are they going to set you up to fail, right? Because you know your business and you know that things are going to take a while and you need to manage their expectations. So even with the meeting that I had today, like I told her, I said, I showed her proof of results that I had for another client, and they saw results within a month, and the one who from the networking group, she did. But I told her, I said, I'm not going to tell you you're going to have those results in less than a month. I'm going to tell you you need at least 4 months to 6 months to see these results, because every single business is different, and I can do as much work for one business or another, and it can be different. So I want you to know that you need to give me time to do this, and it needs to be a commitment, right? Because you don't want them. I had another client that was referred to me a while back, and he wanted it in 1 month, and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to take you on as a client, and I decided not to work with them. I said, you need to give me time to do to get these magnificent results. And he's been doing all sorts of stuff and gotten nothing, and I'm sure he's still getting nothing from what he kept doing, right? Also, what does your monthly marketing budget look like? That's going to be one of the last questions after you've talked about this, because you want to know, do they have money set aside to work with you, or would they consider it? Of course, with this meeting that I had today, that's what I asked her. And she said, well, I don't really have money for that. Could I pay you later, and that type of thing. So that's really why I said, let me look and see what's going on for you. Let me do my research, and then during our I'll put together a plan for you, and then we can discuss your options. And I didn't say I was going to do anything for free for her, which I had no plan on. And thankfully, I don't have to. The reality is I was thinking I was wasting my time, but she saw, because of all the preparation, because of all the questions that I asked her, I was able to identify something that most marketers wouldn't identify, right? And so I spend a lot of work doing this, a lot of hours putting together their plan, a lot of hours doing the research, sometimes maybe too much, but it thankfully it shows them how much you care, and then it really shows your knowledge that you're able to show them all the results, and then you can show them the proof before you present your plan. And that's what I do, is I start off when I go for the plan presentation, is I talk about what we discussed, here's what I found, I start showing them, and then as I'm showing them, this is why in your plan I'm including this, that kind of thing. I'm jumping ahead, but I'll show you how that all works. So as I finish up the discovery meeting, I let them know, again, that I'm going to do all the online research, that it takes me a long time, that I'm going to look at their visibility on the first page of Google search results, for their products and services locally. And I tell them, I said, let's be honest, between, you and I, Google still owns the internet. Over 90% of people go looking for what they need on Google. So that's why I focus on Google, okay? And then I let them know that I'm going to develop a custom step-by-step plan to help them reach their business growth goals. And it's going to be step-by-step. I'm not going to dump a huge package on them from the very beginning, right? We got to start off small, or start off with the beginning. We take one step, and then the next step, and then the next step. Kind of like when you first start dating somebody, right? You don't marry them the very first time. And then I always
But there is another reason why you do that, because if you do too big of a package, it is hard for you to add a service where you get paid for it. So if you do, let's say, three package from 3 tools or 3 things, that's fine. But don't offer 7 services in one package because it's harder for you. And once you agreed on a certain price and you mentioned all those 10 serves, 10 products in one bundle, then it is harder for you to add a service and get paid for it.
Yes, that is true. That is true. And then you also will set yourself up for failure because you're going to try to do too much all at once and it's going to make your life miserable. And then they're not going to get the results that you both want for them. Okay, and then be sure to schedule a follow-up plan presentation meeting for the following week. So what I do is I tell them this is going to take me a lot of time, and I don't want to waste my time even doing the research unless I know I have a confirmed meeting to present it. And so we schedule it right then and there, and we make sure our calendars are scheduled for the same day and time before I even spend my time. And, I got to be honest, sometimes I leave things to the last minute because I hate wasting my time. So I will even confirm a day or two before that we're still meeting for the marketing plan, our marketing plan, follow-up marketing plan that we're going to go through. And I'll text them and I make sure I get a confirmation, or I'll call them and make sure I get a confirmation before I spend my time, because I hate wasting my time. So that's just the way I do it. And then I have too many things I'm working on, right? So Jack knows he'll be waiting all week for something I'm working on, and he doesn't get it till like the morning, like that we plan on even talking, right, Jack?
Yeah, and that's fine. I'm the same. I can deal with
So
that.
this whole thing, yeah, I told Jack I'd work on this all week, all last week, and he didn't get it until, when he woke up yesterday morning, right? When we planned to talk later that day. So now the follow-up plan presentation meeting, and I'm so sorry. Like I said, I think I talk way too much because we're running out of time. We only have a few minutes. Jack, look at, because we have, well, let me go through this really fast and I'll give you an example. And then hopefully if anybody has any questions, I'm okay with staying a little later, and I'm sorry that it took so long. So basically for the presentation, I always take my laptop with me. So like I said, they can see for themselves their current visibility, the competition, what it looks like online, okay? And then also I show them the data that I get from the Google Keyword Tool. So I download that into a spreadsheet. Google lets you download it, right? And then what I do is I organize it so that I put it from highest monthly searches down to lowest. So, I organize it that way so we can see where we need to focus on. Also, I prepare the marketing plan. I'm old-fashioned. I prepare it in Word. I should be using Google Docs, but I'm still using Word. And then I save it as a PDF so that when I go through it, I only have the PDF open, right? So there's no room for changing anything. And then I will take notes on any changes that I'll need to make before emailing them the plan. So for the meeting today, she started telling me she's paying somebody to do articles for her, and I can do some articles for them. I said, I have tools to do it, and I kind of rewrite it. You got to kind of give me some guidance on what you want, which articles you like. And I told her what my pricing is. So now I'm going to add that. So that's going to be, she's basically asking me for more services that I did not even put in her plan. Okay. And of course, as I go through this whole process, I am always adjusting and improving on it because as I have more plan presentations, like I make mistakes all the time. I figure out, I've put together packages where from the client's point of view, they don't see the value in them. So I catch those mistakes, and then for the next potential client, I word it differently because I have, I have found that, I was using I call it the lead capture bundle now. So, the woman that I met with now, she also is going to upgrade herself to doing the website, redoing her website with me and getting my lead capture package, where before I was calling it a managed hosting package, but I turned it into a commodity, calling it a managed hosting package, even though it had exactly the same thing. But by just changing the wording to my lead capture bundle, that included secured hosting and SSL and all of that, it changes the dynamics. So let's go ahead and take a look. So here's, what I was talking about, the lead capture bundle. So this is very important. This is part of a strong foundation. And so as you see, this is exactly, I'm not fancy. All I do is I get a Word document, I get their logo and I put it in the header. And then I just put marketing plan for whatever their business name is as a title on the top. And then I just do, this is for A, Jack has A here. I list that as step 1. And so it's going to be either where I'm going to create a website, or if their messaging is not good, then I'm going to help them with their messaging. So a lot of the words are exactly the same except for me creating the website. And then what I do is I charge a one-time price to create the website. I charge them $1,500, and I got to tell you, I'm not like a whiz with just a few pages. Not a big extensive. It might be 3 pages. Seriously, it might only be 3 pages. And if I need to help them with their messaging, then I charge them $1,000 for that. And then I always talk about ongoing, their lead capture bundle. So see here, the way I put step 1, you guys will all get it. You'll see the website features, and you can just talk through this. So, here's the website creation example. Like I said, $1,500 for a new website, $1,000 if I'm helping them with their messaging on their existing website. Okay, so Jack, can you go down a little further? Okay, and then I put about us, like the about us and content. They're going to provide the content for you, right? But you will help them with the messaging, and we do have that planned for next month. Okay, well, we'll talk about that. And then, I talk about everything that's included. So you can see that, but you see here, the instant I build it into the way I build my websites, and I talk about how important it is to capture. I said, if you're going to be spending any money on marketing, I don't ever want you to waste your money. So I make sure I have tools in there that are going to help you so you can capture as many leads as possible. The Instant Connect tool, which is ConnectBoss, that's one of the ways that I do it, and I do have a retargeting pixel that I'll build in. And then I talk about monthly. That's going to start after the website is live, right? And that's going to include, the managed hosting, technology updates, weekly backups. And I include an hour for website changes, and I tell them I charge $250 an hour to make changes, per hour when I'm working on a website. So that's my fee. So I charge them $200. Look, just an hour for any website changes. They see they're getting a deal right there. Plus Instant Connect tool, up to 500 text messages. I put up to 500 text messages or 500 minutes per month, like for phone calls combined, right? And then access to the Instant Connect app and the back office, and I talk about the way that those work. So, just in talking about that, like she kind of upsold herself, so now she's going to do the, website with me, and she's going to, start paying me instead of Thrive, and instead of, I forget what else, Shopify, right? So anyways.
You had a meeting today with somebody and you give her a deal. And the deal, if I understood it well, was $700 per month, correct?
Yes, so $1,000 setup and 700 per month for the first 3 months, and then
So
it's increased to my regular pricing.
$700 per month, correct? That's what you
Yes.
said? Okay.
Mhm.
Do you also feel what you 2 months ago, or you were happy with lower, and now you offer them $700 of you feel I give them a deal when I price them $700 per month. Do you
Yes.
realize that?
Mhm.
That in your mind it's still a deal, huh?
It
No,
is. It's a deal.
correct. It is a deal, but that is how you think at the moment after all those experience what you had with in the past 2 months.
Right.
And that is I like everybody go through that cycle. I always mention to Cynthia, so that you have to imagine that you are in the airplane and you are on a runway, and you make speed and faster, and you work hard and you go fast, and a certain moment you fly, and then you get your first client, second client, and your effort to get to the 1 to 10 clients, to the first 10 clients, is much higher than go from 10 to 20. And that is what's happening with Cynthia. So she figured out the wording, the process, what to say, what to do, how to present, how to fulfill. And now it sounds like to me it is copy and paste for you.
Yes. And so now with the plan, that's what I am doing is I fix it, right, based on my mistakes that I find. Because we all make mistakes and that's okay. Don't beat yourself up, right? We're all human. And so based on my mistakes, I keep, changing it and fine tuning it because we all have our own personalities and the way that we communicate, right? So we got to make this our own, the way that we talk, and then just make it easy for other people to understand. I don't use any technical words at all like that. I try to, explain things in just plain English that anybody can understand because we know what these tools are. We know what we're using, but I always try to put them in words that anybody can understand. And I think that's what makes it's better because if they understand, then they understand the value they're getting as well.
Correct. So what do you guys think of this training today?
Are there any questions?
I answer during the way. So I answered past hour. I think I answered them pretty good.
Okay, great.
So I see, I love it, very helpful, fantastic, love it, great training, very practical, very good, amazing, way to go, Cynthia, good information, excellent training, very helpful for your walkthrough. Thank you. You will have, share the dog, awesome, it was excellent.
Oh, and somebody did ask, I do see that about evaluating them before you approach them. Well, I just want to impress upon you all that this is your business. So you want to also decide whether or not you want to work with them. So remember that. Definitely remember that because I think in one of them, there is one of them that was listed in there that, I do not want to work with. And I decided that, of course they are asking me questions and I think they want to work with me, but I've already figured out how I'm going to decline working with them because you want to have your business be the business that you want, right? We don't want to create terrible bosses for ourselves. So I know that's not necessarily the answer, but yeah, but I did want to impress that upon you guys.
Okay, thank you. So the idea is, do you guys want to have Cynthia back, let's say once a month? What do you guys think? So that we go over Cynthia findings, Cynthia results, you know, what she learned about along the way, huh? So we kind of was thinking the December 27th, so once a month, the last Tuesday of the month. So if you all show up at Mass like you do today, we will continue to do that. And
Did you send out the link? Okay, and somebody asked if I use for my meetings. I am not, I'm doing them in person. That's what I've been doing, and I'm finding that it's so much better and easier, because if you're on a Zoom, you can't tell how they feel. But when you're in person, you can kind of see with their body language, and you can kind of judge, and then they get to see you. And I know it can be kind of scary, but just, you know, I would try it out. There's all sorts of networking groups out there, and they're all there for the same thing, is to get more business, right? So if you approach it from listening to them and how you can help them get business, they're going to love you. That's all I can say.
so when I started off in 2009, every business owner was a target for me. That's really true. And I was pretty successful to get the marketing service. So you have to keep your eyes open. It can be the AC repair company, can be your auto repair company, can be your dentist, can be your restaurant. You know, all the time you will meet businesses around you. You have to be just talk about it, huh? Get a conversation going, and then try to ask open question that they're interested in you and that they want to schedule a discovery meeting. And during those discovery meeting, then you follow the process, what we just laid out today. And with that said, I really thank you guys for your time. I will email the replay. If you watch this on YouTube and you like the training, please hit the like button. If you want to get notified for the next training, please subscribe to the channel. And with that said, I wish you a happy Thanksgiving and see you on the next training. Thank you so much.